The story begins with a disturbing and emotional scene. A wounded woman is stumbling through the forest, crying out for help and calling for her son. She's clearly in distress, and though we don't know what exactly happened to her yet, we sense that something tragic and terrifying has occurred. This haunting opening sets the tone for the rest of the film. The narrative then jumps back 3 days earlier, giving us a glimpse into what led to that moment. We're introduced to Abby, her teenage son Sam, and her close friend Jen. The three of them are heading into the forest for a short camping trip. But this isn't just a casual getaway, there's a deeper reason behind it. Abby's husband Mike had recently passed away. He used to love hiking and would often visit these very mountains. To honor his memory, Abby has chosen to scatter his ashes here. This trip is her way of saying goodbye. It's also meant to be a healing experience for both her and Sam, who has become quiet and withdrawn since his father's death. Abby hopes that spending time in nature will help them both process their grief. Jen, Abby's supportive and level-headed friend, has come along to help. She encourages Abby to give herself and Sam time to heal. She reassures her that things will eventually get better. While sitting near a lake, Sam wanders off a bit and notices something strange. Across the water, he sees a man standing silently. The man is wearing sunglasses and holding a walking stick. Sam waves at him, but the man doesn't respond. It's an odd moment. When Abby calls Sam back and he looks again, the man is gone. Sam chooses not to mention it to anyone, perhaps thinking it wasn't important. Later, when Abby was changing her clothes, she heard someone's footsteps coming from the bushes. She turned around to check, but didn't see anyone. However, we as the audience can see that it was Sam hiding behind the tree, though he didn't have any bad intentions. The group continues with their hike. After several hours, they reach a small hilltop where Abby finds a geocache, a small box hikers leave items in for others. She explains to Sam that Mike loved doing this kind of thing. She places a beer bottle in the box in his memory and gives Sam a small diary from the box to keep. It becomes a sentimental moment between them. Abby and Jen also find a small stash of weed and secretly keep it for themselves, not wanting Sam to know. That evening, Abby and Sam scatter Mike's ashes near the lake. As night approaches, they set up camp and light a fire. Sam asks to borrow his mother's phone for a while, but Abby says no, which frustrates him. Jen calms him down with chocolate, and he goes to sleep. Abby and Jen stay up talking. Jen has brought wine, and as they reflect on Mike and life, Abby breaks down. She admits that she feels overwhelmed, too broken to raise Sam alone. Jen comforts her, reminding her that she's not alone and that they'll get through it together. Unknown to them, Sam, still awake in his tent, overhears the conversation. Later, when they get hungry, the women go to retrieve food they had hung from a tree to keep animals away, and notice an unfamiliar backpack nearby. It wasn't there before. They're startled, but decide to ignore it, assuming someone else might have left it behind. Later that night, Abby steps out into the woods to relieve herself. However, we, the audience, catch a glimpse of that same strange man from earlier, now lurking silently in the woods, watching her. She doesn't see him, and he vanishes just as quickly as he appeared. The next morning, Jen notices the strange backpack is now gone. She assumes its owner must have quietly come back and taken it while they were asleep. Abby finds it unsettling, but they decide to move on and keep hiking. Tension is slowly building, and while nothing outright dangerous has happened yet, there's a growing sense of unease. Before they leave, Sam accidentally pours drinking water on the campfire, upsetting Abby. This leads to a small argument between them, hinting at the emotional strain both are carrying. As the group hikes deeper into the forest, they stop to rest. Sam looks around, and there he is again. That same strange man is now standing at a distance, watching them silently. He isn't hiding, but he also doesn't come any closer. He just stares. Sam tells his mom, "I saw him yesterday too, near the lake." This immediately alarms Abby and Jen. It's no longer just a strange sighting. It feels like this man might be following them. They sit and wait for him to leave, but he doesn't move. The longer he stands there, the more uncomfortable they become. Finally, they decide to pick up their things and move on. Abby and Jen try to act normal for Sam's sake, pretending it's not a big deal. But inside, they're clearly afraid. As they continue walking, they realize something terrifying. The man is still behind them, walking at a distance, not trying to hide it anymore. Their suspicion turns into certainty. This isn't a coincidence. He's stalking them. Jen, trying to take control, stops and calls out to the man, asking who he is and what he wants. But he doesn't reply. He just stands there, staring silently, as if he has no intention of speaking. His lack of response is unnerving. Frustrated and scared, Jen tells Abby and Sam to keep moving quickly. The man follows. This time, the group ducks behind some trees, hoping to lose him or at least see what he does. But instead of looking for them, the man calmly walks past. He knows exactly where they are, but chooses not to confront them just yet. That night, they set up camp again, but the fear has grown stronger. Sam opens up to Abby and tells her that he doesn't want to return to their old house. It holds too many memories of his dad. Hearing this, Abby becomes emotional. She knows Sam is still hurting deeply, just like she is. Today, while they were hiding from the stalker, a small wooden splinter got stuck in Jen's hand. She was trying to pull it out. Sam had a Swiss knife, and with its help, he carefully removed the splinter from Jen's hand. This moment shows how Sam is growing more independent and resourceful, even as fear and grief overwhelm him. As the two women talk alone, Jen opens up about her own life. She's been thinking about having a child someday. Abby asks if she's getting married, but Jen says she hasn't thought that far ahead. She just knows she's ready to be a mother. Abby hugs her, touched by the moment, and tells her she's happy for her. The bond between them is deep and sincere. That night, things take a dark turn. Abby wakes up to the sound of music, faint, distant, and completely out of place in the middle of the forest. She steps outside and calls for Jen. There's no response. When she checks Jen's tent, she finds it slashed open, and Jen is gone. Panic sets in. Abby starts searching, calling out Jen's name, waking Sam in the process. They look around, desperate, but there's no sign of her. We, the audience, then see something they don't. The stranger, hidden in the woods, with disturbing tools and glass bottles. He smirks. He's clearly responsible for Jen's disappearance, but Abby and Sam don't see him. They only know she's missing, and that someone dangerous is out there. As soon as morning breaks, Abby decides they need to leave the forest and find help. But they've come too far in, and it won't be easy getting back. Sam protests. He doesn't want to abandon Jen. If Dad were here, he wouldn't leave her behind, he says firmly. Abby tries to reason with him. We can't help Jen unless we help ourselves first, she says. They study the map and spot a small cabin not too far from their location. It might be their only shot at safety. Abby suggests they leave the main trail and take a different route. If someone is following them, it'll be harder to track. As they head off, dark clouds begin to gather. Abby senses it's going to rain soon, and Sam looks completely drained. They need shelter, and fast. A little further ahead, they suddenly hear a faint beeping sound. It's the sound of Jen's watch, and it's coming from the man. He's standing at a distance, just staring at them, holding Jen's watch like a twisted souvenir. Abby breaks down. Tears in her eyes, she yells at him, asking what he did to Jen. But the man says nothing. He just stares, cold, emotionless. Furious, Abby pulls out pepper spray and tries to threaten him, but he still doesn't move. Sam gently calms her down, and after a few tense moments, the man simply turns and walks away. Shaken and scared, Abby and Sam hide for a while. Abby tells her son something difficult. If something happens to me, you have to make it to the cabin on your own. Sam looks terrified, but nods. He insists he'll stand guard that night to protect his mom. Abby tells him, no, he's just a child. This leads to a heated argument. Sam finally bursts out, shouting, "You always treat me like a kid. You didn't tell me Dad was sick. You didn't ask me if I wanted to come here. You never listened to me." His words sting, but they come from deep pain. Abby, realizing how much he's been holding in, gently agrees to let him keep watch, but exhaustion takes over both of them, and they fall asleep. And that's when the predator makes his move. The man sneaks into their camp and knocks Abby unconscious. He drags her away and ties her to a tree deep in the woods. Then he pulls out one of her teeth, which was quite disturbing to watch. When Sam wakes up, his mother is gone. Panicked, he runs through the forest, desperately searching for her. At last, he finds her, tied up, unconscious, and alone. Luckily, the man isn't around. Sam quickly cuts the rope and tries to wake her, but she's barely responsive. The man had drugged her, and who knows what else he had planned. We learn later that he did the same thing to Jen. She had also been hung from a tree, and her body was mutilated. Sam doesn't know that yet, but the danger couldn't be more real. The forest is no longer a place of healing, it's a nightmare, and Abby and Sam are running out of time. As Abby lies unconscious, the killer returns to the area. He spots Sam and tries to catch him, but Sam manages to escape, running into the forest with the man chasing after him. Sometime later, Abby regains consciousness. Still weak and shaken, she finds Sam's hoodie nearby. The sight of it fills her with dread. Has the man already gotten to her son? Meanwhile, Sam spends the entire night hiding, staying one step ahead of the killer. By morning, he returns to the place where he had left Abby, but she's not there anymore. His face is bruised, his nose bleeding. Emotionally crushed, Sam thinks he's lost her. At this point, both mother and son are lost and searching for each other. As daylight breaks, we come full circle to the film's opening moment. Abby calling out for Sam, desperately searching through the trees, crying for help. Sam remembers the promise he made to her earlier. No matter what happens, he has to make it to the cabin. That thought becomes his guiding light. And somewhere out there, Abby decides to head toward the cabin too, hoping they'll meet. She gets there first and sees an old abandoned car nearby, but its keys are missing. Feeling helpless, she heads back into the forest to continue searching for Sam. Elsewhere, the killer is still hunting. Sam suddenly confronts him and sprays bear repellent in his face. The man screams in pain, giving Sam just enough time to run again. Eventually, Sam and Abby find each other. Overwhelmed with relief, they embrace. The cabin didn't provide the help they needed, but now they know they have to get out of the forest themselves. The threat still looms, and they're not safe yet. Sam asks Abby, "What would Dad have done if he were here?" Abby answers, "He never ran from anything." And just like that, they both know what they need to do. As night falls, Abby and Sam set up a small fire near their camp. Abby pretends to be asleep by the fire while Sam hides, watching. Their plan is simple, but risky. Soon, the killer appears, approaching slowly. But this time, it's a trap. Just as he gets close, Sam and Abby attack together. The man slashes Abby, wounding her, but they fight back. Sam swings a rock-filled bag at his head. The impact gives him an opening. Sam then stabs the man repeatedly with his father's Swiss knife, unleashing all his rage and fear. Abby manages to stop him before it goes too far. The killer is finally dead. At sunrise, they search through the man's belongings and find the missing car keys. With a flicker of hope, they head toward the car Abby saw near the cabin. But even with the keys, the engine won't start. The car is dead, just like everything else in this place. Defeated, Sam quietly says, "I want to go home." Abby hugs him tightly. With no other choice, they decide to walk out of the forest, toward safety and toward healing. And with that, the story ends.